So ladies and gentlemen, Friday is our test, and this is the review that we've been working on this week. 14 through 22 should already be worked, and those you should have watched the video for and checked your answers, and then you need to come in for help if you need help Wednesday afternoon. That'll be my last study session before your test. Today, you're supposed to start at 23 and work through 26. So it just gives you a little bit more practice with the surface area and volume questions that we've been working on. So I'm going to get off of this page and let's take a look at the surface area and volume on my airliner, and we'll see how this is going to go. First of all, just like we did in class, I would assign each one of these numbers a letter value. Give them a variable. I chose to make 5W, 2H, and 10L. Now, if you haven't started this already, I suggest you use those letters, those variables, just like I did. It'll help us check our work. But if you've already done something else and you're just checking your work, go through and see if you got it right. And if you did, you don't have anything to worry about. The other thing you've got to remember and do is make sure you've tried these before we go through this. At least pause the video and go through it. The nice thing about the video is you can pause it, take your time, do what you need to do. You can replay the things that you don't understand. All right, so first of all, we've got those numbers identified. You were first to write down the formula for volume. Volume equals the area of the base, that's what that big B stands for, times the height. The base here is a rectangle. The formula to find the area of a rectangle is length times width. So now we can substitute in those numbers, 10 times 5 times 2, and the volume of this rectangular prism would be 100 centimeters cubed. On the other side, you were to figure out surface area. Surface area for a rectangular prism has that long formula. And we related it to the movie Noah's Ark and how the animals all got on the ark. They went 2 by 2. So the surface area formula is 6 animals, 2 little wildcats, 2 large horses, and 2 wild hogs. We can use the same, the variables you'll notice are the same in the surface area formula. And we can use that. Hey, I'll check into that, Brian. That looks pretty good. We'll see. I'll have to talk to you about it later.
I put in 1209 and it didn't.
Sorry, I had to deliver a little good news, so I was interrupted. So that's going to be our secret for tonight's video. Good news. So write that good news down on your paper so I can give you points for it tomorrow. Man, wow, good news. All right, so we've got 6 animals. 2 little wildcats plus 2 large horses plus 2 wild hogs. Using the same substitution that I used for the volume would make this 2 times 10, which we identified as L, times 5, which was the width. 2 times 10 times 2 plus 2 times 5 times 2. I just substituted in the numbers the way we identified them in the picture into this formula. Now, order of operations says you've got to do the multiplication first. So when you multiply all 3 of these together, let me get a pen. When we multiply 2 times 10 times 5 together, we get 100. And 2 times 10 times 2 is 40. And 2 times 5 times 2 is 20. Add those 3, and you get the surface area, which is 160 centimeters squared. The next one deals with, oh, I don't have it covered up. Now it's covered up. The next one deals with a, not any way I can handle that, a triangular prism. And we talked in 6th hour, which I think will be a great way for most of you. You know that this is a triangular prism. That first word, first name, indicates the base of this 3-dimensional shape. So the base on a triangular prism are the triangles. The formula in order to find the area of a triangular prism is uppercase B times H. That uppercase B stands for the area of the base. And the area of the base in a triangular prism is a triangle. And that's what this is supposed to be. That's supposed to be a triangle, although it looks like an A. So the way to find the area of a triangle is to take the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle and divide it by 2. So we're just going to look at this triangle right here. And of course, the circle I drew went just right through every number you needed to see. This is the triangle that we're looking at. Here is that H that we've used before. It's sitting on 6. 6 is the base. So for the B here, I substituted in a 6. The long side of the H is the height. That matches with 8. So I substituted in an 8. So 6 times 8 is 48, divided by 2 is 24. The area of the base, the area of this triangle, is 24 meters squared. So now I go back to the volume of the area of the base times the height. The volume ought to equal that 24, the area of the base, times 9, the height of the entire prism. How far apart these two triangles are. How many different rows could we put in here? I'm going to try this for a second. Oh, no, can't do it. So 24 times 9 is 206 meters to the third power. For the other one, you're finding the surface area. And while the triangular prism has this formula, I think it's easiest if you will do the sum of the area of the faces. So I tried to write all those down. There's the front triangle. In order to find the area of the front triangle, we'd have to take base times height divided by 2. That's what we just did over here. So that was 6 times 8 divided by 2 is 24. The back triangle is just like it. So it has the same area. So we've done, this is the front triangle, and this is the back triangle, and they both have the same area. Now we've got to do the 3 rectangles that make up the other faces. The bottom rectangle, down here, has a base and a height of 6 and 9. So 6 times 9 is 54. The rectangle on the left, I'm going to trace it in green, right over here. Got to figure out the base and the height of this green one. I don't know if you've ever liked these optical illusions, but if I stare at that triangular prism long enough, I can make it look like it pops out, or I can stare at a corner and make it sink back in. It just did that, kind of freaked me out a little bit. But the secret's still good news. Even though I'm freaked out, we'll save that for another secret. The secret's good news. So if we look, we have 8 along this side, and this other side right here that I'm making really thick is 9. So 8 times 9 would be 72 for the triangle on the left. And now I've made such a huge mess, I'm going to erase it. So we had the front and the back. We did the bottom. We did the one on the left. So now we want to do the one on the right. And it just popped out on me again. Oh my gosh. Okay. The one on the right would be this one. The base is 9. Here's the other side. There's the 10. So 9 times 10 is 90. Now, in order to find the surface area, we need the sum of all those areas. The way to find a sum is to add them all up. So 24 plus 24 plus 54 plus 72 plus 90. I combined the two 24s, got 48. I combined 54 and 72, got 126. So now I've got 48 plus 126 plus 90. I combined the 48 and the 126. No, I did 48 and 90 and got 138 plus 126. Gives me a grand total of 264 meters squared for the surface area. Surface area is the gift wrap on the outside. Volume is the space on the inside. Don't forget to do lesson 6 worksheet as well. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget that secret is good news, and I'll see you in class.